What can you tell us about the Axis chemical scene? Because you did a lot of movements in there, and I think I remember specifically one scene was when Jack Nicholson's not the Joker yet, but he's running up the stairs before he falls into the vat of chemicals. I think they said that you were balancing on one of like the poles behind him and you switched the
Oh,
cape back.
oh, I'd love to say I was. I think, you know, I'm very flattered that people see these things and then they automatically think it's me, which is lovely. I think what was very, very difficult, I think for Michael's sake as well, that they were trying to share this work out because you know what it's like politically, you're not wanting to step on the stunt territory side too much or whatever, because they have their legislation. So, for instance, Sean would be the driver for the Batmobile, and I was sad that I didn't get a chance to drive it. I was in it and out of it, but not actually driving it. But I think with some of these sequences, there was no reason why I shouldn't have done them, but I think there was this shared thing of, well, we better let Sean do that, but we'll get Carl in to do the rooftop run, which was kind of like my forte as well. Um, and that took a lot of guts as well to do that because of the danger element. I remember that initially just going to do that shot in itself was very frightening because I had to go up in full costume, almost like an exposed staircase, climbing up to this rooftop. It was mad. And then I got there and I just looked down, and the guys were really quite a distance down. But there was the neon sign, there was the dry ice, there was all these cables and things everywhere. It seemed very tight. And Peter McDonald was saying, look, because he used to call me Batty. I think I must have been Batty to have done it. But that was his very kind nickname for me, I think. But I would just, scan everywhere and look at what was available and just measure this kind of distance. And the idea was that I did actually run in quite some distance. But when you see in the movie and on these sort of posts and things, it looks like I've just run in a short distance. But I ran quite a long way and then sort of stopped and then looked and then did my cape swish and turned away. Um, but it was very, very dangerous and no safety measures whatsoever, which is unheard of. But I paced it out, I measured it, made sure that I would do so many runs, if you like, and then stop. But that was very frightening. But there was another scene that I did with regard to the Axis, which was when it's Michael does this famous back turn when there's the explosion. But I got taken out by this driver, which I alluded to earlier, where I got taken to this location and they had me getting out the Batmobile and looking up where the helicopter was. And I don't know what happened there. So whether they've kind of, as they did when I emerged from the Batwing, they've kind of used the combination of Michael very much for the close-ups, but then me as well doing those movements and things. So I think that was an extra bit for me as well. I was very happy about.
And you directed the Joker mimes too, right? At
Yes,
City Hall?
I love that. I really love that
Oh,
because
wow.
as we do in life with our experiences and our observations that we kind of like magpies, we take in all this lovely experience and stuff, and then it's stored there and we can draw from it when we need to. And I think because I was taught for one term at college by a guy that had studied in Paris, like a Marcel Marceau type school. He taught us some very good mime, and then I'd seen things as well. And then when they said to me about taking the goons into a studio, I just thought, wow, that's perfect. So we did everything very over the top, which was what they wanted. And it was lovely working with the guys again, because I'd had conversations with them. But then I said, well, why don't you do this? And then one might say, well, look, I've got this idea, and we worked together, and it was fabulous. So that was another little string to my bow, if you like, to have that opportunity to do